I want to welcome you guys back. This is day 3 of our article on food and addiction and looking at those factors. Your bell work is up for you, so please go ahead and get to work on that straight away. List 4 ways you could sustain a healthy weight. And we're going to get back into that here in just a few minutes. So take 3 to 5 minutes to write down your answers, and then we're going to share with shoulder partners. You guys did an excellent job working independently. Now what I'd like for you to do is a turn and talk. I want you to share the ideas that you came up with on how you can sustain a healthy weight. And I want you to listen to what your partner has to say about that as well. And I really want to keep this brief. Make sure you stay on topic. Let's do a minute each. So whoever starts, talk for a minute, and then stop, and then be listening, because your partner is going to talk for a minute. And then we're going to come back to whole group and share out some of the things that you found you had in common, and also some original ideas you found. Okay, good. I heard some really fast talkers, so that was kind of fun. Does anybody want to share with the whole group the ideas that you and your partner came up with for how you could sustain a healthy weight? And we'll take volunteers first. Great job. Thank you guys for sharing out. Okay, you guys can put your bell work to the side, and what I'd like to do now is come around and I want to pass back to you the article that we coded yesterday. Remember yesterday you worked on text coding, and we also took a little bit of a look at the vocabulary words that could potentially be new to you. So you're going to get that article back. You're receiving back the same article that you worked on yesterday, and today we are going to also work with a graphic organizer. So you're going to have 2 pieces of paper, and I'm coming around to give those to you now. So what you should have on your desk in front of you is you should have your article with your numbered paragraphs and also the words that you underlined. But then you should also have the graphic organizer in front of you that looks like this. And first things first, of course, I want you to put your name on it. And then I would like for you to notice that the article's title, Food Addiction Works Like Drug Addiction in the Brain, is right here for you, so that you know this graphic organizer matches with this article. And then I want you to look right up here where it says Guided Note-Taking, Guiding Question. According to the article, which factors influence food choices? Then you'll notice here that I've got a little column for paragraph number. I would like for you right now, before we ever get started, to please go ahead and number 1 through 12 right there on this, because you know that we're going to have notes about each paragraph that we read. That's how we're going to take this article apart. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, good. And you've probably taken notes in your classes before, but this is going to be a little different because although I'm modeling for you, eventually I'm going to want you to decide what you put on your graphic organizer as the notes from the article. All right? So we're going to do the first few together because I really want you to understand how note-taking can help you remember all the things that you want to remember in this article. So I am all ready to take this apart paragraph by paragraph. So number 1, seeing a milkshake can activate the same areas of the brain that light up when an addict sees cocaine, U.S. researchers said on Monday. So I just want to make notes. I don't want to recopy this. I don't want to write it down. So I want to say something like milkshake equals brain activity like drug addict. Because that's really what I want to remember about this paragraph. And notice I don't have to write the word equals, and I don't have to write a whole sentence out necessarily. I just want those symbols in there so that I know what I want to remember from this particular paragraph. All right, let's try the next one. All right. The study helps explain why it can be so hard for some people to maintain a healthy weight and why it has been so difficult for drug makers and health experts to find obesity treatments that work. Well, I definitely want to say something about maintaining a healthy weight, or how obesity and food, or eating too much food, may be uncontrollable, like an addiction, because we talked about how an addiction is something really that you can't control sometimes. So I definitely want to say something along those lines. So I might say something like, healthy weight hard for, we'll say, food addicts. Let's do the third one as well. If certain foods are addictive, this may partially explain the difficulty people experience in achieving sustainable weight loss. Ashley Gearhart of Yale University in Connecticut and colleagues wrote in the Archives of General Psychiatry. I don't know that I need to put all, I don't need to remember necessarily all of them, so I might just say, science study may explain food addictive / weight problem. And I'm not even going to write problem. I'm just going to write prob, because I know what prob means for me, that it means problem. Okay? Because that's what I want to remember, that this is a scientific study that they're working towards. I want to remember that. Okay? I want you to go on to paragraph 4. And while you're reading paragraph 4, and you're lucky because, looky, there's not a whole lot to paragraph 4. While you're looking at paragraph 4, I just want to come around and see what you're putting down on your paper. And after I take a look at paragraph 4, we'll decide if we're going to go back together to do 5 and 6, or if you guys are going to go on your own and do the rest of the paragraphs on your own. So I want to come see your work. Go ahead right now on your own. Notes for paragraph 4. All right, I am so pleased with the notes that I saw you making on these paragraphs. So I'm thrilled with the progress that you've made and the work that you've done. So I want to thank you for that. What I'd like for you to do now, and you can go back to your shoulder partner, your buddy, and I would like for you guys to start taking these apart. So for example, you'll see you've got these boxes over here. Now, these boxes are for visual cues, food selection, brain function, and then personal response. When I read this, milkshake, I automatically check off food selection, because this paragraph had that food cue in it. Also, milkshake definitely gives me a visual cue as well. I can see that in my mind and start to get really hungry. Brain function, they definitely talked about in this paragraph, because they talked about brain activity and the brain lighting up. So I'm going to check that off. And then personal response. I did not see that within this paragraph, but I'll tell you what's great about working with your shoulder partner is what you may not see, your shoulder partner may see, and they may be able to look back within the text and argue effectively enough to convince you to check that box. So again, you're going to work with your shoulder partner to check off those boxes depending on the paragraph and the notes that you made. Does this paragraph speak to visual cues, food selection, brain function, or personal response? And when you get to a sticky place, try to convince your partner one way or the other. But remember, convince them using text evidence. Not what you think so much as what you can prove is in the text. That's the evidence that we're looking for, and that's what's really going to convince your partner. All right? So go ahead, look to those, and as our wrap-up today, we're going to hear from some groups of which paragraph you found had the most evidence within it for those boxes. All right? All right, we're going to come back together here in about 10 minutes.